Don't go anywhere. Coming up, it's the agency meant to protect Americans from financial fraud and deception. And the Trump administration has targeted it for elimination. We'll look at the possible implications of the ending of the CFPB after the break. Back on political connections tonight, and after President Donald Trump took office, the White House instructed employees of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to stop working. The agency has become a target of Elon Musk's Doge department. So the CFPB formed in response to the 2008 financial crisis. What does it do? Well, the independent government agency is designed to protect you, the consumers, from financial fraud and deceptive practices. The CFPB has regulatory authority over companies who provide financial products and services, including credit cards, bank accounts, loans, credit reports, and even debt collection. It gives consumers a way to file a complaint against financial products and services. So very serious stuff. As Political Connections' Jeff Allen shows us tonight, in your segment, Call Your Community Your Voice, the uncertainty about the agency's future is leaving those who may depend on it worried.
Brian Hodge says he used social media to teach himself how to cook.
Yeah, it's just a fun way to be artsy while also getting to experiment and then eat. You know, you can't eat paintings.
It's a hobby that feeds his family more affordably than going out to eat and provides a break away from the weight of life.
It's a good way to de-stress.
De-stress from the weight of what his family faces financially. Hodge says several years ago, he and his wife accrued thousands of dollars of credit card debt.
Poor financial decisions on our part.
Hodge says part of that debt was from he and his wife's medical bills, including from a stomach surgery he had to have. He was able to work with Money Management International to get his debt paid down.
They also got the creditors to agree to low or no interest. You know, many of our cards were no interest, and only like one was very small amount of interest. And so we suddenly had, a light in the tunnel. It was like, oh man, in 3 years, we won't have debt anymore.
But his wife's health issues have persisted, and along with them, medical bills that once again are adding up.
Every time she sees a doctor, the doctor's like, well, we're not really sure, so I'm going to send you to this specialist. And the specialist goes, I'm not really sure, I'm going to send you to this specialist. And that one goes, I'm not really sure, I'm going to send you back to this other one. And it just goes boing, 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 boing. And we're just going ching, 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 and we're not seeing any benefit.
Hodge says he's been able to avoid bankruptcy, but he's had to use part of his retirement and other savings to stay afloat. He has health insurance, but even with that, he believes medical costs are just way too high.
If medical stuff was affordable, if we all had to pay a little more to know that we could go to a hospital and it wouldn't cost us much or anything at all, then people could be healthier, and healthier people can work harder and do more.
Hodge says his wife can no longer work, making their financial situation even tighter. He believes protections in place to protect Americans financially should stay in place.
It's disheartening to have conquered what is a common difficulty for a lot of Americans and think, hey, finally I'll be able to save up. Maybe one day I'll get to own a home, American dream. And then you lose it all, and it still seems like you're just clawing to tread water.
And regarding the latest with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a federal judge has ordered a halt to the dismantling of that agency. So those cuts for right now, Beth, are on hold.
So many questions I want to ask you about this, Jeff, but right top of mind for me, why was this agency targeted? What do we know?
Well, we know there's been cuts across several agencies in Washington as part of the Trump administration. And even back in February, it became clear that CFPB was going to be one of those. When Elon Musk, he actually posted on X that a quote that said CFPB RIP or rest in peace and a tombstone emoji. So that made it clear right now that he wanted to get rid of it. And then we heard from White House Budget Director Russell Vought, who said the CFPB has been, quote, a woke and weaponized agency against disfavored industries and individuals for a long time. So it's clearly under their purview of agencies that they want to make cuts at.
Let's bring it closer to home here in the state of Florida. What efforts are being done to protect consumers from medical bill collection? That's something that I know for a fact so many families watching tonight have been impacted by.
Yeah, people with these astronomical medical bills, they've been through these medical crisis, illnesses, and then they're facing just thousands and thousands of dollars of debt. Well, House Bill 547, Tallahassee lawmakers are really trying to give some relief here by defining the terms, the legal terms under this collection process. So when these medical companies go after people who are trying to pay down these bills and they're going after them to collect, it's defining what would be considered extraordinary practices under the law. And the House in Tallahassee, they passed this unanimously, 116 to nothing. It's now onto the Senate and, of course, the governor's desk eventually if the legislature can pass it. So this could actually help protect people when it gets into that kind of sometimes nasty legal process when they're collecting.
Yeah, and some of the folks who are, part of this problem, who are, trying to navigate this very complicated topic, they would probably say this is predatory when it comes to them, the companies coming after them for some money. Thank you so much for trying to clear this for us, Jeff Allen, with the community, with a segment we bring you every week called Your Community, Your Voice.